PLUTO, YoungBoy Never Broke Again, 2 crash outs. Let's talk about it. How y'all doing? Welcome to Let's Talk About It, Music Reviews Season 11. How y'all doing? Welcome to the show. Guys, I'm getting ready for a Music Friday night, and I'm expecting for some heat. Now, I saw this on Twitter, that PLUTO, a rapper that has recently came up because they had a song with Sexy Red, and then I guess, now PLUTO is, making some moves, actually, being on the YouTube release page and all that shit. Good for her. It's hard for new artists to get out there. And we got PLUTO, YoungBoy Never Broke Again, 2 crash outs. Now, my last review I did of PLUTO, I did not enjoy what I heard at all. I mean, it was one of the worst things I could ever, let my ears ever, consume. But, I'm here to give this a chance. I'm here to give this an open mind. So let's get started with the beat. The beat, it's that simple trap beat. It's not much to say here. You got the drums, the 808s, and you also got, the synths. You got the violin. You got all that. You got those elements in there. But honestly, it's kind of boring. And there's not really much to say about this beat because honestly, what I'm hearing from this beat is just completely nothing. I mean, 808s feel lifeless, drums feel lifeless. You try to, add some synths, add some, melodies in there to make it stand out a little bit, but I'm gonna be real. I mean, I've heard this beat, a million fucking times, so hearing this shit again, it's just like, damn, this is just a basic ass trap beat, and that's just kind of how it is. But let's get it into PLUTO. Now, first of all, the hook from PLUTO, let's go over that first. The hook is not that good. I don't know if it's PLUTO's vocals. I don't know if it's the flow. I don't know what I'm hearing. But I just think her vocals, in my opinion, just don't really hit. They just sound kind of basic. And she tries to do this where she kind of holds her vocals off. And, that can work for some artists, but honestly, when you have a voice that's like going higher pitch and the higher pitch thing, just doesn't really work. It just comes off very annoying. And that's what I kind of feel when I listen to this hook. Very annoying, a voice, vocals that I just don't really enjoy. And then you got this hook that just sounds basic as hell. It's the same flow, and she kind of just copy and paste this hook over and over and over again. So you have that, and it's just a basic ass hook. So that's a little disappointing in my opinion. I don't know what I was going to expect from a PLUTO hook. I will say this though. I think her voice is a little less annoying than what I heard when she did that Sexy Red track. Honestly, I didn't even know she could speak words until today. I found out she could actually flow on a beat. That other song I reviewed, guys, holy shit, it was fucking terrible. But, she can actually, flow a little bit, even though her vocals, in my opinion, are a little annoying. At least she's got a little bit of a flow on the hook. Now, let's get into the verses, starting off with PLUTO. I just think PLUTO kind of takes, the Glorilla, the Nicki Minaj, the Cardi B, I think she takes all these different elements and she kind of combines them in her own verse. So does it make it sound good? Does it make it sound a little unique? It really doesn't. Flow is generic as hell. It's basic as hell. I feel like I've heard this same flow just over and over and over again from any female rapper that has a little bit of a raspy voice. It's like they have a little bit of a raspy voice and, this is their whole entire flow. And that's the only way they know how to, it's the only way they know how to rap. And I just feel like this shit is way too basic, way too boring. I don't know how this could get stuck in your head. I don't know how these verses could actually add some complexity or anything like that. It is just basic and boring as hell. The hook from PLUTO is basic as hell, and then these verses add absolutely nothing to the song. I mean, Lord mighty. The only thing that adds to this song is, guys, surprisingly, is NBA YoungBoy. NBA YoungBoy comes in here, YoungBoy comes in here and just completely kills it. You know, one of the things that I have found out from YoungBoy is that sometimes when he does the melodic vocals, it can really work. And when he does it well, when it actually sounds good, it's really fire. I think the melodic vocals from YoungBoy really work from here. They sound good. I like the flow. I like how he's riding on this beat. He sounds really confident on here. Got some nice melodic vocals. The singing from him is actually pretty good. And then he does all these different flow switches on the verse. We have like 2 or 3 different flow switches, and I think these flow switches are really good. They're actually on beat, and they sound really good. I like how he goes from, you know, this fast flow, then switches to a faster flow, and switches to another faster flow, and just kind of keeps going and going and going. Kind of like a boxer, you know, just jab and jab and jab, you know, maybe throw a straight a couple of times, but we're going to mostly jab really fast. So I really do enjoy that, you know, it really adds some variety, adds some complexity to the song. Flow switches really come in my opinion, but I just really think, you know, YoungBoy was definitely the highlight of this song. And I think that's disappointing if you're a PLUTO fan, if you like PLUTO's music and, you know, you realize PLUTO kind of did nothing on here, and then YoungBoy comes in here and just completely kills it on this beat. You know, this is a basic-ass beat, but YoungBoy actually made this really fun to listen to, actually made this really nice sounding. The way he was flowing on here was kind of perfect in my opinion. And honestly, YoungBoy had my favorite verse on here. So YoungBoy completely killed it. He had a really good feature on here. PLUTO kind of falls flat for me as this whole entire song. And I think that's a, you know, a bad thing if you're a newer artist and you kind of let, you know, other artists kind of overshadow you. You know, you might have, you know, a really good stream song, but, you know, when I look at you as an artist by yourself, I go, you know, is your catalog good? You know, do you got any good songs, and your only good songs are, you know, having some good features on there? I think that really says something about the artist itself. So yeah, guys, when we talk about this song, PLUTO, YoungBoy Never Broke Again, 2 crash outs. PLUTO's verse and hook was not good at all. Generic ass trap beat. But hey, YoungBoy comes in here and definitely saves the goddamn song. So if you're a fan of YoungBoy and you want to hear a really good YoungBoy verse, hey, this is actually one of the better YoungBoy verses that I've heard. Way better than that other song I covered recently with, I forgot the girl's name, alright? But he did a song with another girl, you know, and that song sounded completely terrible from YoungBoy and her. So this song is a lot better. You know, you have to get through PLUTO's verse, and you do have to get through the hook. But once you get through that, you get through YoungBoy's verse, he comes in here, and honestly, he completely kills it, guys. So yeah, 2 crash outs is a very boring ass rap song, but YoungBoy adds some enjoyability, but that's kind of it. Overall, guys, I'm probably just going to give this song a 4 out of 10, and that 4 out of 10 is just YoungBoy completely killing it. So 4 out of 10, guys. Let me know, did y'all enjoy this song? Did you hate this song? I don't know, let me know. If you're on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your podcast at, make sure you follow, turn on notifications, guys. We're dropping new content every single day. And I'll see y'all later. You have a good one. Bye.